Day 55 of my carnivore life. I came back from the swimming pool with my son the whole day, and we did a lot of things right and a lot of things wrong, according to food. So, one thing before I want to address is people telling me, why don't you do fasting? Fasting is so great. Of course, fasting is the best. You will lose a lot of weight, you will heal, you will, reset everything, of course. But fasting is like running a marathon. If you never run before, you shouldn't run the damn marathon. You really need to prepare for months and months and months and train. That's the same thing. You cannot just fast like that and it's so easy and you can do it. Your body needs really to be able to eat, 3 times a day, then 2 times a day, then 1 time a day, and then really go without food a day, and then go without food many days. It's, for me, I'm so far away from this situation because I did eat on carbs with a sugar addiction. In 55 days ago, I did eat 10 times. And during my first first 3 weeks of carnivore, I ate maybe also 10 times a day. So no, I'm not able to fast, and I'm not gonna do that because can go very, very wrong, and you can then overeat and your cravings will start and you will just go overboard with everything if you're like me, and I'm not capable of doing this. So that's why we're not gonna do that. We're gonna prepare ourselves to get there. But I'm getting better, I'm eating in an 8-hour period, not because I have to, it's just because it's happening. So that's a good thing, your body is adjusting, and I don't eat 10 times a day and snack all the time. So today, the things that went good, I was so prepared. I was doing so good. The day started perfectly. We did have a ribeye steak. But the ribeye steak had so much of these fat parts, and they were tasting really bad, and they were so chewy. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I cannot make it taste good. It tastes really awful, and you cannot eat it. And then you eat it, and you just have to, the half of the meat you're eating, the meat is perfect. It's perfect medium, but the fat parts are disgusting. Ribeye, I cannot prepare it. I cannot make it. And then I have to put him out, and I'm just disgusted by it. And then my dog is a very lucky and happy dog eating ribeye in the end. So I tried it now so many times. If you know what I'm doing wrong, and if, I watched a lot of cooking things and I tried it, but I cannot make the fat taste good. I did it one time and I did the same thing. And I don't know, maybe it's the meat, but it's the same meat still. I don't know. I really don't know. So I did eat very little because we had one ribeye steak my son and I were sharing, and a lot of it went to my dog in the end because of the fat parts that I just couldn't chew. So we really hadn't enough food. And then we were going to swim, and we have been the whole day, like 8 hours now, outside, being far away from home, being in the sun, being at the destination where you usually have all this fast food. And we were lying there, and I did prepare for my son. At first, I did made ground beef with some spices and tomato, smashed tomatoes, that it tastes like spaghetti bolognese. And I made for me a steak. And my son tasted the bolognese, and he didn't like it. I liked it, and yes, it's tomato still, but I loved it. So I don't care. But because it was so tasty, and I thought, okay, then I'm gonna eat that and he can eat the steak. And then we went to the swimming pool, and I was so proud of ourselves because we did have this meat prepared, and we were looking at the parents and all the people before in front of us, and it was just insane. They had this big of a bag full of chips and Haribos and all the crappy food, and the kids were eating it all the time. It was just, looking at it with different eyes, it was just like, we were that before. We did this before. That was our go-to. And now just opening, the done thing and eating it, and even looked at the menu cards if there is something we can eat. And we didn't eat the fries and these things we usually would eat. So we just eat the meat that was prepared. So I was so proud of ourselves, but my son was so hungry and he ate the whole thing. So I left very hungry. And then I said, okay, after the swimming, we're gonna go to a restaurant. It's called Buschenschank in our country. There you can go and you will get meat, cheese, bread, and you put stuff on a bread. So you will have these things that we can eat. So I was like, yeah, that's perfect. Then I ordered a plate full of meat, and my son wanted to have the dark bread with some freshly made, it's like cream cheese with some oil. I cannot explain it. It's a thing we used to eat in our country. So he did have that, and I just ate the meat, but the meat was, you know, this sliced like ham and these kind of things, and they were so salty. So I really couldn't eat that much. So I was hungry. I was really hungry, and I was like devastated then because it, you know, I did have that, but I was still so hungry. And then we crossed my old work where I was 16 and I had to work there for 2 months as a waitress. It was a pastry shop. So I saw it from outside and he was like, I want to have an ice cream. And I said, you know what, you can have an ice cream. And we sat down, and usually we will eat a big chocolate cake or these kind of things. So I thought, you know what, he's gonna have the ice cream with some whipped cream, just one scoop, do you say that? And I will just ask if they have a yogurt with maybe some fruits, because I would eat their everything. I was so hungry. I was craving everything because I was just hungry. You know, if I did have enough of the meat, I wouldn't be hungry. So I prepared everything, but I didn't prepare it in the right amount. And I was too weak at the time to resist this moment because it triggered a little bit of my old habits and my, you know, my mental thing that I worked there when I was young, and we always ate a lot of cake and it was so fun, you know, these kind of things that can trigger a lot. So I was so proud of myself that I did manage to eat the yogurt and the fruits. Yes, it's still not good, and it didn't feel good after it. Really, I didn't. I felt sick actually. So, and I was so hungry still, and it triggers my hunger and my cravings, and it was just, everything was overboard then. And we were sitting in a car driving back here, and I remembered that I have chocolate chip cookies still left from a month ago, in my car, in this little thing, you know, which you open. I was fighting it at first, but then I was like, no, I'm gonna eat it. And you know, one thing, I didn't eat the whole package. I would usually eat the whole package in this situation, but I didn't. I stopped myself when I was full, and I had a protein chocolate bar. And usually I would eat popcorn, caramel popcorn, cookies, Mexican, and a Coke. These are my go-to in this situation. And I managed to eat not all cookies in the package and to eat a protein bar instead of my, you know, extreme sugar. Of course it's processed foods. Of course it's shit. But it's still little victories which are, you know, having a big impact on my mental health, that I could go through with it and just have a kind of moderation which I never had before. So it were little victories, you know what I mean? Even if I did wrong things in the end, because I did prepare, I did it the right way, but I was unlucky that then, you know, the one things were salty and I couldn't eat enough, and the one thing were eaten by my son. So I'm happy that he was happy, but that's how this day went. So we have to celebrate sometimes our small victories, especially it's day 55 from sugar addiction and carbs, going to, hey, I can have some cookies and not eat the whole package. And that's actually my second day in the whole 55 days. I had, I think day 31 or something like that, was on overeating a lot of sugary things just to have these overdoing moment. And now, so it's just the 2 days I managed to like eat too much of sugar, and just not a little bit and, you know, treat here or something. It was like really a lot. It's still less than normal, but it's still a lot for me during my journey. So, but it's still, like I said, you know, we have to celebrate sometimes our small victories, and we had an amazing day. It was so fun. we were reading a lot, we were swimming. Yesterday I had 13,000 steps, which is also, everybody who knows me knows that this is a lot for me. So we are celebrating this, and we did have today about 7,000 steps. We did park somewhere else, and then we walked a lot to the locations we wanted to go. So we did have our small, small baseline that we can go. And it was just a perfect day. It was so sunny, and we were enjoying it and getting brown bread actually, but you cannot see it right now because it's very dark in here. So I hope you had an amazing Sunday, and I'm working on shortening my videos because I talk a lot. I'm sorry, I annoy myself. So I try to cut it down a little bit more. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm happy to have you, and I hope you had the best Sunday, and see you tomorrow.